Oh, snap. Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good? This is our very first live video. Let me just get set up here completely, but let me introduce myself. My name is Paul Bachiang.
My name is Evans Dorelis. Welcome to the temboway.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, we are the co-founders of Tembo, and what is Tembo? What's Tembo? First of all, Tembo is basically this idea we had, right?
What led to that idea though?
So, we basically spent a lot of time, kind of debating our process coming into college.
He talks a lot.
I talk a lot.
He talks a lot.
So if
He does.
we spent a lot of time debating our process coming into college, the whole idea of like what we knew, what we were told,
And
what
we wish we knew.
we wish we knew, right? What we know now,
Pretty much.
years later. What we know now, years later, and how beneficial it would have been for us to know that stuff when we're going into it, right? Because there's only so much stuff that can be given to us by parents, friends, siblings, guidance counselors, principals, whatever.
But, I mean, even then, like, for example, for myself, I was fortunate enough to have older cousins who kind of, told you, gave you a glimpse of their world. But then, as soon as I started college, it was a whole total different experience,
Absolutely.
You read about it, you watch movies, and they tell you these things, and you're like, oh my God, college is this and that. You step into it, different.
Right.
How do we,
Well,
how is Timbo gonna help with that situation?
Before we get into that, first of all, I do this a lot.
Love.
Before we get into all of that, let's not get ahead of ourselves. First of all, just us getting here, first of all, I just want to give a major shout out to two people besides my mom and my dad, right? Major shout out to two people. The first is my boy Joseph. Honestly, without his encouragement, without his leadership, and by that I mean I got an opportunity to watch, right, how he does his thing, and that inspired me. That took me next level, right? That's the thing he said. That took me next level, and it got me from the idea of what Tembo could be to where we are now. Right? So we're not at a place now where it's just like we're hopping on and this is the very first time. Now we've been at this. We've been at this for a minute. But now we're just taking everything online. Now we're taking that next step to go next level. So shout out to my boy Joseph. And second, equally as important, I want to give a shout out to Greg Todd. He is a physical therapist down in Tampa who has changed my way of thinking. The way I approach problems, the way I approach life, the way I just go about everything I do now. And I kind of sent him a voice note before I talked. I sent a voice note. I was like, hey man, listen, I'm not a physical therapist at all. It's not my niche. It's not what I wanted to do. But I was watching his videos and I've been seeing the way he works, right? And that's completely gotten me to where I am today. In the span of a month and a half, 2 months. It's gotten me thinking completely different. So shout out to those two people and everybody affiliated with them. Any shout outs you want to give real quick?
Just family and friends,
What's up?
It's been a long journey. Made a whole different move up to Michigan for some reason.
Florida boys.
But yeah, no, shout out to my family for supporting me and, making things happen. So yeah.
All right, bet. Let's get started. So, taking those things into consideration, the very first thing I want to address is, all right, so what is the purpose of Tembo? What are we actually doing? Are we just popping up to be like, yo, here's this idea, roll with it? No.
Tembo, it's supposed to bridge this gap. So we have this gap between, kids in high school from like their junior years to the freshman year of college, where half of the time they're clueless. Yeah, even a little further.
Honestly,
they're clueless.
Yeah,
and I could say that was my case.
Yeah,
I was clueless. Like you go to the guidance counselor's office. Your junior year usually they say, hey, college coming up. You do your SATs. What schools you want to go to, scholarships and that, and all that information is
the keyword being what?
Is what?
what?
Like, you hear all this stuff and you hear
Exactly.
it, but it goes in your ear, comes out, but right back out.
Just boom, boom.
And you're like, it's overwhelming information, and your thing is like, what do I do first? Or how do I go about doing it? And it's the same thing with your parents. I remember my
Absolutely.
parents were like, I want you to go to college. I'm like, you know what? No problem.
Admirable.
But the thing is, what do I do? What steps do I take
Not
to
only
make
the
that
what
happen?
though. See, but the what is one half of the equation, right? We are definitely told the what.
The how.
You got to figure out the how.
The how.
Check this out. Unfortunately, and I say this, unfortunately, it is way too common that a lot of students don't know the how. They're told the what. Like Evan said before, you need to go to college. You need to apply for financial aid. You need to apply for scholarships.
Yep.
Yeah. But unless, honestly, because here's the thing. Yes, we hope that, we have competent kids that are being raised, competent human beings that are being raised, that can figure it out. And that's great. You have to be able to figure it out. That's half the battle. I hope that you as an individual are able to be like, all right, let me sit down and figure it out. Let me just type, and get through it. But are you able to do it efficiently? So that's where Tempo comes in. Being the bridge between the what and the how.
Okay.
Before all this has to start, though, there's one thing that has to be taken into consideration, I believe personally, right? It's how you even mentally face the whole thing, right? What's your mindset?
Okay.
100%. What is your mindset? Speak on that real quick.
I mean, a lot of kids, right? Like we say, a lot of kids, they have this mindset. And it all comes back to the how. They know what they want. They know, like, you know what, I want to be, say they want to be a doctor, an engineer, whatever. And, being a patient culture, those were your options. Being a doctor, an engineer, or a lawyer. So, of course I go first to that. But, no, they know how to get it done. Know what they want. But it's, like we said, it's how. And that kind of affects their mindset to the point where it's like, once they get to the point where they can't figure out how to do it, or it becomes too hard, it becomes a matter of what, you know what, maybe I could chill a little bit. Or you know what, they get to a point where they become discouraged, and there's really nothing else for them to do. And Timbo will give them the platform where they could come and get we're not saying we have the perfect solution.
No, we don't.
Or the answer to every problem.
But we've kind of been in it for a minute.
We've been in it.
We have people around us that have been in it for a minute.
And our experiences and our connections that we've made with professors and deans and other staff members on campus will allow us to provide an insight to these students on the steps needed.
And here's the thing, right? So this might be coming off as a pitch. I don't want this in any way to come off as like, we are here, choose us. If you choose us, great, choose us. But we've already started helping people. So it's not like, in any way, this is not our first time in the rodeo. Not at all. Not at all. Do not get that misconception. This is not our first time in the rodeo. We've been in the game. We've been doing this for a while, right? But now, taking it next level, we have to understand that what we've created, what we've brought to light is something special. So an important question you might even ask, what sets us apart from some academic success program at a college? What sets us apart from some after-school program that's specifically set to help motivate kids? What sets us apart? This is what it does. Firsthand, not only is there a community of students that we're already in touch with, assisting, but firsthand, I can let you know that the very first thing we're going to address with you as a person is a mindset shift. See, if I shift how you think, I shift how you act.
Very true.
If I shift how you think, I shift how you act. That's all it is. So, two important things. Being able to leverage your time, one of the biggest lessons, I think. One of the biggest lessons I have had to learn is learning how to leverage my time. And I'm not 100% perfect. There's days where I get up and I'm going because
Yeah.
I wake up every morning at 6, 6:10, 6:15.
Usually go to bed at on a good day you go to bed at 3.
At 3.
On a long night you
But why?
go to bed at 5 and you
Why?
wake up at 6. So
I'm learning to leverage my time even as we speak. But the one thing I can say, the one thing that I can kind of put off as we have this down is learning to leverage time as a student kind of involves a couple of things. One, the people you're around.
very true.
The saying goes, we are the summation of the top 5 people
you hang out
we
with.
surround ourselves with. And that's something, so look at this. So growing up, my dad used to say to this all the time, and I'll be honest, right? In high school, he'd tell me these things, and looking back, I realized it was truly in one ear, out the other. It wasn't until maybe last year. Maybe it wasn't even until last year that I truly thought, yo, this is so important because the people I'm around with, and this is one of the things that I've been telling the students all the time. The people I'm around, they definitely either will lift me or bring me down.
Exactly.
So I've made it a point personally. I've made it a point, and other people might, people reach out and be like, yo, I never talk to you anymore, or yo,
There's a reason for
I don't
that.
see you. There's a reason for that.
There's a reason.
And it's nothing personal. It's just that I have a vision. Ooh, I just had an idea. I have a vision
He always has this
of where I'm trying to be, and I have a vision of how I'm gonna get there. And if you as a person, you as a community, you as an institution cannot help me attain that goal,
Then move
I'm
them
sorry,
aside.
but you gotta move aside.
Move them aside.
You gotta move aside because you're slowing me down.
And I think that's a key thing that a lot of students, they hold on to. I mean, me personally, I try to stay in contact with a lot of friends, but I came to the point where I started having more acquaintances than friends because I had a goal for myself. You have, like you said, you have a vision, you have a plan, an idea of where you want to be. But these people were so stagnant, and they're just like, I'm comfortable here, I'm fine with where I'm at, and I don't need anything, everything's perfect. But then you're like, no, but then those are the same people, they love you and whatever, but if they can't help elevate you at any way or any form, you have to move on, and that's the hard step.
And that's hard to do. That's hard for them to hear, and that's hard for you to do.
It is, but you have to do it. You have to do it. If
honestly, you just gotta pull yourself up by, I can't believe I'm gonna say, the bootstraps. Suck up the suck, and just do it. Because you have to be able to think, all right, you know what, me as Susie Q, me as Jane Doe, me as
James
Kevin. I want to be a superstar. I want to change the world. I want to do all that. And we'll kind of talk about that in a different video, right? Having the fire that drives you. But I want to do all this. But you got to understand, for me to do this, right? For Kevin James to get to point C, D, E, F, G, he's got to know that the people in point A, point B, some of them got to come with you.
Yeah.
And some of them they can't come for the ride.
No.
Right? That's part of the mindset. The other part, along with leveraging your time, and then is kind of like thinking about the people in your life. Actually, no, matter of fact, let me touch on it. I was going to do it, but let me touch on it. The people in your life, in relation to that top 5, or even family, or even friends, can really either elevate you or bring you down. Why? Because here's the crazy part, and I might offend somebody when I say this.
He's always offending somebody.
I might offend somebody when I say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. One of the biggest obstacles that a student can face is a reality, keyword, where everyone else seems to think they know what is best for that student, for that person. They might be in that world where it's like, okay, there's some times where, like, even what we're doing, right? So I'm sitting there, I might know what the best path is for you to take that I think, but I'll be 100% honest. I can only guide you so far. I can only give you advice so many ways. I can only do that. But you as a student have to, You as a student, you as a person have to understand that you have to learn how to take your own risks. Right? You have to learn how to take your own risks. That's what it is. If somebody knows what's best for you, or they think they know what's best for you, and they push that onto you, it might make you risk averse.
But the thing is, listen. But hold on. Yes, you know, it's true. You have all these people in your life, like, you know, you have your, especially if you come from a big community, pastors, cousins, uncles, parents, whatever it may be. How do you deal with all that stuff? Because they're all gonna tell you, give you advices. They all, whether you ask for it or not, you're gonna get it. What's the hard thing for that student or that particular person? What's the hardest thing for them to do?
They have to learn how to tune out the negative voices and tune in the positive voices.
Okay, but is it that easy though?
Oh, it's not.
Just think about it.
Oh, no.
I'm sure there's been times you hear your parents say something, you're like, man, but it's because it's coming from dad.
Right.
How do I tune it out?
Remember I said to embrace the suck sometimes?
Embrace
Look
the
at
suck.
this. So, people will give you advice, and it's probably in their best interest for you. That's fine. Be grateful for those people. Be grateful for the people who are willing to say, hey, Evans, let me talk to you for a minute. You know that thing you want to try? I would rather not. You know?
Yeah.
I'd rather you not try, because it might lead you astray. But here's the thing. Often, more times than not, that kind of advice, right? Be it from mom, be it from dad, be it from your teacher, be it from your pastor, be it from your imam, be it from, I don't know, your rabbi, be it from your friends, your best friend.
The old lady,
your girlfriend, you know, your fiance, whoever it's from. It has a potential to kind of help you avoid failure in some places, but it can take away experience. And experience is what takes you from being, I'm going to use the word, not mediocre, but average. It can take you from being, honestly, the potential of who you can be and the best version of who you are.
And FYI, we're not saying, you know, if your parent says, you know, don't do a certain thing and you go, oh, Timbo told me, oh, don't do this, don't listen to you. That's not what we're saying at all.
Let's say, what's up, son? How you doing today, bro?
So don't get it twisted. That's not what we're saying at all. We're not saying go out there and, you know,
no.
ignore all types of advices that you get.
Absolutely.
That's not what we're
Keep in
saying.
mind, and that's where, that's a whole different video we can do. A whole different video. How to tune in and how to bring in the positive voices. But you have to be able to learn to take risks. How does the saying go? No risk, no reward. And the other part about that is when you do fail, you have to also learn how not to dwell in your own pity. It's that simple. Well, it's that simple, but it's not. And that's okay. That is okay. Failure is okay. I have failed countless times. We all have.
failed.
If I could put a poster of the amount of times Paul has failed, you'd be astounded. Heck, I fail every day, right? There are times during my day I gotta just stop and be like, what am I doing? How did I get here?
But it's okay to take pride in the small successes. It
That's
builds
important.
up.
But you know how
to
you do
bigger
that.
ones.
But you know how you do that. You know how you do that. You know how you do that. Remember those top 5 people you have, right? Those top 5 people, they're so important. Here's why. Because if you learn one to identify those top 5 people. What's up, LaFace? How you doing today? If you learn to identify those top 5 people, this is what happens, right? This is what happens. They become your rock. So when you succeed, all 5 of you succeed. If you fail, it's you, right? You have 5 other people that can help lift you up. So yeah, y'all cry together. Yeah, I am so sad. Or I failed this exam. Or I didn't get that job. Or that interview went horribly. That's okay. That is okay. But those people right there will take you next level. Because now you learn not only how to fail. Learning how to fail, that's important. Now you learn not only how to fail, but then how to rise out of that failure. Because failing is important. Failing is okay.
For sure.
But don't sit in that area of self-pity. We're not doing that. No. Heck no. Heck no. We will not sit in that area of self-pity. We will rise above. That's all I'm going to say on that. We will rise above. Here's another thing. When it comes to being a part of Tembo, when it comes to, you know what? Hold on. Let me stop. Let me talk about something real quick. So I was actually watching this live video that Joseph and Greg did yesterday, and apparently Joseph was mentoring Greg, right? He was mentoring Greg, and he said, or at least the video title was called, you have to embed yourself in the reality you want, if I remember correctly. You have to embed yourself in the reality you want. What does that mean? So for me personally, like I said earlier, my reality is this. I know after graduation, I know exactly where I'm going to be. I know exactly who I'm going to be around. I know exactly what I'm going to be doing. That's my reality. Before January of this year, I did not accept that reality. I didn't live in it, right? I didn't accept that it was possible. Because here's the thing. Okay. I didn't accept that it was possible. What does that mean? That my end goal is highly achievable just from the sheer fact that I can will myself to get there. If I, Paul, were to say, okay, so here's an example. If I, Paul, was to say, you know what? My goals are attainable, but I may or may not get there, right? That's me just being wishy-washy. I don't need that kind of, honestly, I would say, you don't need that kind of negativity in your life. No. I don't need that kind of negativity in my life, right? So, embedding myself in that reality, I know where I'm going to be. I know how I'm going to get there. You know where you're going to be, and you're going to, is that Pano? Daniel, what's good? Yo, he's in the Marines right now doing God knows what out there.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. Stay safe, fam. But I know where I'm going to be. I know what I'm going to be doing. But now it's a matter of just putting in the work.
Steps.
Joseph gave this example of if your grandmother pulls you aside and says, Evans, come here. When you're done with school, I have these 2 cars I'm going to give you. Right? So that's your reality. Yeah. Your reality is that you have 2 cars. The thing is, do you have the cars now? No. But you know you have the cars. But all you got to do is put in the work to get to the cars. So if your grandmother says, like Joseph said, if your grandmother says, just pass the semester, get a 3.5, 3.0, 4.0, whatever. They says, pass the semester and you will get those cars. Your reality is, I have 2 cars. That is your reality. Now you just have to embed yourself. You have to say, boom, I have 2 cars, but I'm going to go through the process and trust it. I'm going to go through the process and trust it that by the end of the semester, those cars will be in my possession. They already belong to me, but they will be in my possession. So that's what I mean by willing yourself. So for me personally, I know where I'm going to be.
And before, we wrap up, one key thing he said, process. Trust the process. A lot of times we see the end goal and we see where we want to be, but we try to take shortcuts. We try to rush things, and that's fine. Some people want to get it done and be over with it, but trust the process. Go through it all, because it helps build you. Anything else?
Yo, before, because we got to run to class. There we go. Truth, you got to keep up the positivity in your life, right? You got it. Daniel, you're on point with that one. So you got to be able to trust the process, keep the positivity, and understand where you're going. But let me do this, right? So anybody who watches this now, later, comment down below right now, right? What your biggest obstacle is in putting yourself in your reality, okay? So for me, my biggest personal obstacle that I'm constantly fighting, constantly trying to overcome, is not falling into a headspace that I'll make all this progress. So I'll be like 90% of the way there. And then that last 10% is so hard.
Yeah.
Right? He can tell you. He can tell y'all. Like, I think there's like once every other week, I have a day where I'm just like, damn, I cannot do this.
True.
This is hard. This is hard.
And it's usually the last 10
And
steps.
it's the last 10 steps.
That's the hardest.
You've made it 90%. Paula's made it 90% of the way. So now I just have to push that 10%. And that last 10%, mainly for me, is involved with people like him, right? People like Joseph, people like the rest of my top 5, they know who they are. The people in my top 5 that are able to now push me all the way. But the most important thing, so comment below, what is your hardest battle to fight when you're putting yourself in the reality of success? Whatever that be it, okay, I'm gonna join a company that's a Fortune 500, or I'm gonna start my own practice somewhere, or I'm gonna be, I don't know, the first monkey handling astronaut from
That's
Mars.
very random, but okay.
Whatever it is, I'm gonna be the first internationally reclaimed yodeler from Kenya. I don't know whatever it is. I'm sorry for yelling. I get excited. Whatever it is, put yourself in there. But whatever the struggle is, you have to learn how to overcome. And we'll hit that in another video. Learning how to overcome that hump, right? Learning how to overcome that hump so you can get to the next 10%. Anyway, comment below, tag people, let them know what we're doing, let them know that we're here, let them know that we're trying to just take over the game, because that's what, we're trying to take over the game.
Before we wrap up, where can they check us out on social media?
Boom. So, important. Social media at thetemboway. Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram. I don't know. We'll probably get on Pinterest. I don't know. Everywhere. The Temboway. Thank you so much for watching thus far. Thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of this process. Thank you so much for just letting us be in your life. So let's just get out there, right? What's our Tembo thing? You got to be able to understand a couple of things with Tembo. Our thing is just being able to find purpose, establish order in yourself, and then achieve excellence.
Through what?
Through a community. Boom. 4 things. Purpose, order, achieving, and community. Yo, y'all have a great Thursday. Be amazing, be sensational, and let's get it. Boom.